Hey, Doc Holly here. Welcome back to Yoga Fit and Flexible series. I am so proud of you for making it to video 4. We're gonna work on the inner thighs today. It's an inner thigh blast. Grab your heavier dumbbell if you're using weights and a yoga block if you have one, and hop into something you can move in. Let's get working out. I'll see you on the mat. Hey, as you can see, we're starting on your back today. So make your way to your back, grab your yoga block if you're using one. We're gonna place it right in your inner thighs. Just a moment, briefly, relax your hands by your side. Take one moment for yourself to just be proud for making it to the mat and to video 4, because that's often the hardest part, is just showing up. Just take a deep breath into your body. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And then we're going to breathe in and out the nose for the remainder of this practice. So if you can, keep those lips sealed. Let's bring that yoga breath into your practice. Squeeze that yoga block together, about a 50% squeeze. Lengthen your tailbone so your lower back comes flat to the floor. Push through your heels. They're a little bit further than hands distance. I would say like 4 or 5 inches away from your sit bones, and your feet as wide as the yoga block so that your knees are gonna go directly over like your second toe. Perfect. Now lift your hips up in the air. Micro tilt your tailbone under and your hip points up, creating a little crunch and a big glute squeeze. Squeeze the inner thighs. Don't forget those inner thighs today. And then roll it back down. Lift your hips up, squeeze, gently lower the hips. Good. Squeezing your both cheeks, your right and your left, evenly at the top, making sure you're actually thinking about what muscles you're using. I know it sounds kind of silly, but often if we don't pay attention, we could compensate and use our quads, or we could start feeling it in our low back. So make sure you're doing proper form, tailbone through the knees at the top, engaging your booty, inner thighs, just making it mindful, you know? We're doing a lot of these, so don't worry about the number. But if you need to stop, and I mean need to, you can pause and then start back with us. But we want to just get this blood flowing to these muscles in our lower body right at the start. All right, 10 more. I folded. 9, 8, 7, 6, starting to really burn. 5, 4, 3, good, almost there. Come on, 2. Last one. Woo-hoo-hoo. Release that yoga block to the side. Hug the knees to your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then take 2 or 3 rocks up to a seated position. And then roll through onto your hands and knees. Just keep the yoga block close by. Cat-cows. Inhale, cow belly pose. Love starting a practice with these to open up your spine, get that spinal flexibility. This really helps us to feel good and limber in our body all day long. And to age gracefully, we always want to keep as much mobility in our body as we can. If we don't move it, we lose it. That goes for strength and mobility. So that's why we do both of them. This is a very efficient workout. Last one, stay in that cat body. Take the yoga block between your inner thighs, squeeze it, create that cat, spread the shoulder blades, really hover the navel to your spine, tuck the 10 toes under. And then all you're gonna do is lift your kneecaps off the floor 1 inch or even less. You could put just a piece of paper under your knees. Just keep spreading the shoulder blades. Push down your index finger and your thumb so you use the strength of your forearms. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You can do this. 5, 4, belly button in. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, lower the knees. You are done. Set the yoga block at the front of your mat. Take the dumbbell in just a little bit because you'll need it in a bit. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. First downward facing dog of the practice. Come high onto the tippy toes, push the hands down, and then drive the chest up and back, spreading the shoulder blades. Bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Come high onto the toes, bend the right knee, straighten the left leg. Just switching side to side a few more times. Draw that breath into your body all the way down to your hips and your feet. Breath in, breath out. Nice. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, look forward. Step knee to nose. Foot comes right in between your hands. See if you can set it exactly where you want to. And we're actually gonna need the dumbbell towards the left side of your mat. So roll it over carefully. Spin the left foot flat. Cartwheel the left arm back, rise, right arm forward, warrior 2. Let's take the hands to the hips for a second and just make sure that you're working into the mobility and strength of your hips. So pulse down a few times, tuck the right sit bones under, micro tilt your pelvis, lengthen and activate the left thigh all the way to the arch of the foot. You should see that left arch is working. And turn the right toes out, knee out a little bit so it's over your second and third toe. You can see your right big toe, right? Good, relax your shoulders. Reach with confidence out, fingertip to fingertip. Beautiful. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rise, goddess pose. Toes out, heels in. First for mobility, we're gonna use the dumbbell soon. Take the hands in the inner thighs, sit down. Just move side to side. So like you're trying to open those inner thighs now. Pushing the knees out. Shifting weight right to left foot. Just kind of using the hands as guidance. Perfect. Pulse it in the center. All right, let's get ready to be active. Grab that dumbbell. It's going to be down between the legs, kind of like a deadlifty type movement. So grab that dumbbell. If you don't know what that is, it's okay. I'll show you and tell you. Same position as goddess. Push the hips back as the toes, the knees go over the second toe once again. Drive up. Sit the hips back and rise. So it's kind of, so with the goddess, your hips are going straight down. With this, they're kind of going down and back, just so you can see that from the side. Good. Let's continue. Here's number 4. We're doing 15. 5. Good. Chest up. Belly to spine. Good. Go as low as you can with strength and the mobility that you have. Push yourself. I'm right there with you. Pretend like I'm there in the room encouraging you. And you can encourage yourself for 5, 4, beautiful. 3, 2, last one. I'm gonna take this dumbbell and move it to the front. Good. Step the right foot forward, facing the front of your mat. Left foot about 3 or 4 feet, depending on the length of your legs, behind your right foot. Reach the right arm out, and the left hand will go right inside your left hip bone. Look forward. Reach forward. Like you're reaching for something out and down in front of you. When you can't reach anymore with that left hip staying open, then take the right hand down and the left arm overhead. I like this way of getting into triangle pose because it helps us not cheat so much. Crown reaching forward. So if I wanted to go deeper, I could just fold, but then my hips cock out to the side. Because of my mobility, this is how far I go. Good. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale, look to the front. Step to the front of your mat. Take the yoga block in your inner thighs. While you're already in the squat, grab the dumbbell. little chair squats with inner thigh activation. So squeeze that block, sit back for 10, 9, 8, good stuff, 7. Just when you thought you could add more squats into a yoga practice, I come up with more ways for 4, 3, 2, 1. Carefully drop the dumbbell, remove the block. You can take the dumbbell to the right side now. Inhale, stand, Urdhva Hastasana, rise, hands sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hands in heart center. Inhale, sweep up, gaze up. Offer your practice up. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, arch halfway, flat back. Exhale through your vinyasa if you want to jump back into it, or step, step. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, lift the heart. Nice, downward facing dog. Sweep the hips up and back. All right, we're flowing, we're moving. I'm really warm now. How are you feeling? Check in with yourself. Inhale. Exhale, full downward facing dog. Sweep the left leg up and back, inhale. Exhale, take your left knee to nose. Step between. Warrior 2, swivel that right foot flat, leading with the right hand, open up and back, warrior 2. First, feeling the mobility of warrior 2. We want that strength in the legs and the inner thighs, but we also really want to open. So think of this as a mobility pose 2. Open that left thigh to the side so you can see your big toe. Try to get that left thigh almost towards 90 degrees, or if you can get it there, great. Lengthening and softening the back right hip. Lift your arms like you're just resting them across the earth's surface. The energy is holding you up. Inhale. Exhale. Flip the left hand, reverse the warrior on the inhale. And exhale, rise, goddess pose. Toes out, heels in. I'm gonna turn towards you. Sitting down into that goddess pose, taking the hands in the inner thighs, bounce it out, feel it out. Inhale, lift the chest. If you want to do a shoulder dip or two, drop the left shoulder. Inhale through center, drop the right shoulder. Awesome, couple more times per side. Inhale, exhale, breath in. Breath out, breath in, breath out. Beautiful, rise, grab that dumbbell again. Nice and carefully, take your goddess pose and let's do those goddess sumo deadlifts. Sit the hips back and rise, here we go. Ooh, squeeze the inner thighs on the way up. Nice, but also keep the alignment of the knees over your toes. Good, protect those joints. Always moving intelligently. Good. Squeeze. Here's 8, 9, let's do 15. Here we go. 10, move it for 5, 4, 3, how low can you go? 2, and 1. Set the dumbbell at the front, triangle pose on the left. Left foot forward, splay the toes. Right foot towards kind of the right side of your mat. Right hand on the hip, left arm in front of you. Open that right hip back as you reach, reach, reach forward with the left hand. Long left and right side body. Then lower the left hand as you swivel that right arm to the sky. Inhale, look up at the right fingertips, especially with that bottom left eye. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Left arm sweeps up and back. Exhale, look and step to the front, grabbing the yoga block. And yes, your dumbbell again. Dumbbell into your chest. Let's get after it. Here we go. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, last 5, 4, 3, 2, one more time. Yes, make it good. Drop that weight. Release that yoga block. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands in heart center. Inhale, sweep up, lengthen your spine. As you fold, long back body, fold inwards. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, let's vinyasa. Woo, got a little burst of energy there. Let's push it. So very similar. You kind of know the moves, so you don't need to look up that much. Let's flow. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel the arms open. Exhale, rise, goddess pose. You can grab the weight if you want it. Let's squat it out. Get the hair out of my face. Boom, let's go. This time 10, 9, 8. Squeeze the inner thighs. 4, 6, 5, 4. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. This time wide straddle. Dumbbell. Well, I can go kind of to the right side. Turn the 10 toes forward or slightly inwards. Inhale to halfway point, flat back. Exhale, fold in, wide straddle. You can grab the backs of your legs just to bring it in a little bit. Or take your peace fingers to your 2 big toes and draw the chest back, crown to the floor. Good, release your hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Take the hands to your hips. Rise with the flat back. Triangle pose, turn the right foot forward. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, deepen the pose. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, sweep to the front of the mat. Drive the left knee to your chest and take a tree pose. Left foot inside your inner right thigh. Squeeze the thighs together. Push the right big toe down. You can take the hands into prayer pose. Just finding a drishti, a focal point, kind of at eye level in front of you. Oop, for your balance. My right foot's dancing all over the place. If you want to make it more, you can bring the arms overhead or up and out for 3, 2, 1. Release. We're going to go straight to that forward fold. Move your things if you need to. Grab the backs of your legs for an extra added stretch. Down and in. Inhale, lift your spine halfway. Exhale, if you have some energy, you can jump back through chaturanga. Inhale to the upward facing dog. Exhale, get it, downward facing dog. I am ready to move. Let's do it. Inhale, left leg to the sky. High on the right toes, knee to nose. Step between your hands. Warrior two. Easy sweep up and back. Deepen the warrior two. Align. Surrender. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Toes out, heels in. Grab that dumbbell. I'm gonna face you again for our 15 goddess squats. Last squats today. Let's do it. 15, 14, the last ones, let's make them the best. So keep that pristine form, especially when you have weight, you wanna do it right. Good. Squeeze into the muscles. Here we go. I lost track, so let's just do 5 more. 5, it's good enough. 4, if you're really feeling it, throw in a couple more. Give yourself some bonus reps. Last one. Good, carefully drop the dumbbell at the front. Triangle on the left toes forward, right toes out to the side. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, reach forward for length, both the left and right side body. Down and in. Little chin tuck, crown drives to the front of your yoga mat. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, left eye to right hand. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, rise. Look to the front and take the right thigh to your chest. Boom. Then, tree pose, right foot to your left inner thigh. We really need that inner thigh strength to squeeze and maintain the foundation. So that's where the inner thighs come into play. And then hands in prayer pose. Perfect, relax the shoulders. You can take those hands straight up or out to the side. Deepen the breath for 3, 2, 1. Release all the way down into your forward fold. Grab the backs of your legs. Draw the crown down to the floor, tailbone to the sky. Deepen it. Tilt the tailbone up. Exhale, navel to spine, ribs towards your thighs. Good, release the hands. Inhale halfway. Exhale, take your hands in your knees. And then I'm gonna face the long side of my mat for our straddle pose. So it's nice to have your heels on the yoga mat for a little support. If this is a tough pose for you, if you're a little bit tighter, prop yourself up. You can either sit on a yoga block or a bolster, maybe some pillows, or even just fold up a yoga mat or a blanket and slide it underneath your hips. Start at about 70%, so not your full straddle. Sit up nice and tall, nice erect spine. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw them down about chest level, maybe somewhere between chest and belly button level. And then we're gonna actively move into it. Reach forward on the exhale. Inhale to rise. So using that muscle activation to draw till you feel the stretch, the edge of it, then lift back out of it, right? Good for 5, and then we will hold it. 4, 3, but we gotta get those inner thighs torched. 2, and 1. Good, relax into the pose. Whatever version serves you. If you are ready for the elbows, if you are pancaking, I'm not there. Wherever you feel it. Maybe you're up here just working on the hinge of your hips. I would rather you be higher and go down with the flatter back than just try to get lower and round your back. So be where you are today, just working that flat back down and towards the floor. Keep spiraling the toes out, knees out, keep the quads engaged, and soften your face, soften your eyebrows, relax your jaw. Couple of breaths. And if you're really tuned in, you'll notice when your muscles kind of open up, then you can take up more room. Go a little micrometer deeper. It's really that intention and that listening to your body that over time, you'll find more flexibility. It takes a long time, so stay the journey and know that it's a lifestyle and it's a long process. So just enjoy every practice. Every time you're on your mat, think of more expressing yourself than more hitting the only physical benefits of it or the aesthetics, you know? Mind and the body, relax a little bit more. 2 more breaths, wherever that takes you. And slowly tuck your chin, roll back up. Take the outer thighs with your hands inward and then windshield wiper side to side. Not done yet. We're gonna do a butterfly pose now. So whichever way I'm gonna take, if your heels are further away from your body, you get more of your erectors and your back lengthening, bringing the heels more towards the body, towards your pelvis. You're gonna get a little bit more inner thigh. So whichever version you like, I'm gonna go somewhere in between. Being here is not just a lazy stretch, it's more working those inner thighs, pushing those heels together, drawing those knees out to the floor actively. So find that little activation. You can take your hands to your shins or your peace fingers around your big toe to start to lengthen the spine forward. See how far you can go with that flat back and then work into it. Don't force it just to look cool, be where you are. I've never been a very flexible person, but that's not the only thing that yoga is about, right? Like I said, it's the journey and learning about yourself every day. And some days you might find you're way more flexible or feel way more stronger than others, which is completely normal. For 2 more breaths. Find a little more length. Perfect. Slowly roll back up, keeping your feet like this. Come back onto your hands behind you, lower down onto your forearms, and then all the way to the floor. Last bit of work, heels together, knees apart, push down on the outer blade of your foot, lift the hips up, little frog pump here, squeeze your butt, and then lower your hips down. If you are wanting more, you can place a dumbbell on your hips or a band around your knees to push out, but hey, that was a hard workout, so I think just doing the frog pumps body weight is also killer, you know? Good, here's 6, 7, 8. Like, how many are we doing, Holly? Let's do 25. That's 10, 11. Starting to get that burn. Lengthening the tailbone. Hip bones and rib points are kind of stacked at the top. Good. Let's go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you got this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take those knees into your chest. Rock side to side, beautiful. Slow back down again. Let's twist it out. Left knee into your chest. Straighten out that right leg. Draw the left knee all the way across your body to the floor. Hug the right hip underneath you. Spin the left arm open, gazing back at your left fingertips for that little twist. We are outside here in Miami, Florida, in the middle of January. Can you believe it? It's nice and warm out, and we are downtown, so if you hear all these beautiful sounds, just know you're in a living, breathing city. If you're ever in Miami, let's work out together. Good, 1 more breath in. Breath out. Slowly make your way back to the center. Hug your knees into your chest. Switch right knee in, left leg straight. Take the twist all the way over. Hug the left hip back. You basically want your hips stacking. And the further up your knee is, the more you get that rotation from the mid back. So open that right arm, gaze back at the right fingertips, and let go. Let that right shoulder just have gravity's pull sinking down onto it. Nice and heavy bones. Try not to grip and hold tension, but just trust yourself to let go here. Rinse it out. 1 more breath in. Breath out. Slowly take it back to the center, yogi. You did it. Video 4, that is halfway. Congratulations. And it's a journey. So even though sometimes it's hard to show up, you still are doing that. So I can't wait to see you day 5, getting on your mat. It's going to be a super fun one. If you have time, you know I love a Savasana for you. If you are ready, slowly make your way up into a seated cross-legged position. Thank yourself for being here. Be proud of yourself and keep that yoga into your lifestyle. Stay present, stay centered. You got this. Namaste, yogi.
We'll be right back.